Hello everybody, Bomdagor here, and I did a little mic readjustment just a few minutes ago. Haven't tested it. I bumped it up a bit more. Found a few videos where I couldn't even hear myself even on max volume on anything I was doing unless I was wearing headphones. So bumped it up quite a bit. So let's see how this is going to play out. So anyways, playing on Intune Valley on Wings of Liberty, not Heart of Swarm. So never go with setting my probe out on 9 to build the first pylon against my Terran opponent, KiltsPwn. Excuse me. So we're gonna speed it up a bit. We're gonna do traditional scout. Try to get once the pylon goes down, so I never lose mining time on any of the other guys. You know, rally out one guy. There we see I have now seen his base. I rally out again for the next building. I do that for a little bit of time and then I kind of stop after. So I see a barracks going down. So my play for this entire game is to do a 1-gate harass expand, which is done by which I've seen Maximus Bot do on his games. I'm not on his stream, but I have watched him do it on his channel and stuff like that. When I get links to it from MySwitch TV. So I was trying this. So I've chrono boosting out units, and so I do have vision for everything. I do see certain things, so he's not going to build in those areas. So there's one Marine attacking. He's got his orbital. The one thing I'm not seeing is that there should be more Marines, or at least 1 to 2 more Marines attacking that. Had I built a pylon there, it would have probably made a bigger difference, because now he has to focus fire that due to the fact that with warp gates I can pretty much do whatever I can. On top of that, I know I could be cannon rushing him at the same time, which I'm not. I do throw down a second gateway because I'm only seeing 1 Marine, so I'm kind of like, well, maybe there's something else really weird going on. See, there was a Marine rally way out there, and then all of a sudden one of my stalkers gets fired at. And here it comes. I'm going to slow it down just a bit. And oh no, my warp gates are not finished, so I dropped down 2 more pylons. Now here's the thing, so I'm ignoring my first initial push. So, and I'm going to pause right here for a second. Now we see that he is not paying attention to this. He is focusing on this. He is now focusing on this down here, which is the units that are attacking his base, which is my 3 stalkers. And now he's got Marines queued up over here, so now he's trying to focus down these guys, and he's not paying attention to this because he knows this can kill him. And now we're both now have 0 income, except I think I should have at least 1 probe mining gas. So he's not watching this. So the trick with this is that because he wasn't watching this, is that I pulled all my probes off. I clicked the mineral patch down here, so that way they would kind of phase through. Once I get half of them phased, half my probes are phased through, I hit Control A, or not Control A, just A quick, and then all of a sudden it's attacking all the Marines at the same time. So from both, front and back, and then we'll click that and continue on. So all his Marines die except for the one that I kind of bang. And now I got my warp gates right back up. And now I send out.
I'm here in the shadows.
So now he sends out another army. So what has happened is that he's proxied me. So pause it one more time. Doing everyone can. He's built this right here. On top of that, 2 more over here. So he's got 4 racks. Well, at least producing, 4 of them producing units. So he's going. So he went heavy into this attack. So he's not. I don't know how to really say this. So he's more concentrated on this cheese build versus what I'm trying to do, which is, you know, try to get my expansion up. And now he's trying to all in me, or at least do an attempt to all in. He's not. I don't think he's fully all in. Nope, he's got his SCVs going back. So, continue that. So I have to take my probes off the line again. So now he's mining again. You see his income going back up. So, and while my probes do a lot of killing, which I do have, you know, 23 probes, so I do have enough to kind of get me. Even though I'm doing this, it's I think it's the wrong move for me to do, but it's to also keep his army off him from doing any, from coming back. So you see that he's not able to take out. He's only take out several. Well, how many probes did he kill? He killed 7. Or I killed 7. He's killed 2 workers. So that alone tells me that I didn't. So I'm gonna ignore that building. It's burning. I'm gonna just let it die. Because I got these units that I have to worry about. And now I got a micro. You can see the Marines. So he's really committed to doing this. And now he's back to trying to kill the assimilator. So A, that's gonna stop him from taking 1 gas. There goes 1 SCV. There goes 1 more barracks, so he's down to barracks. And now he's back to, you know, kind of mining. So now so I move up again. Now I should have just walked into his base. I don't know why. I kind of just stood there and not done anything. That's just me being kind of retarded on that point. Not really thinking, oh, well, I don't know what to do, but I gotta do it. And he's out trying to get in, but he can't. As you see, the bunker's down, out of range. Kind of weird. So as his SCVs are getting kind of slaughtered, down goes the depot. Down goes another depot. Now I want to pause it right here because this is something I noticed after when I watched the replay, and not when I went in, not during the game. Is that there's this nice little hole right here that I couldn't went through because this bunker had no range of this, or if it did, it wouldn't be. It would be enough to kind of take a little bit of the shields away from these guys. If I even did it my best, I could have had it focus fire this guy down first as it's running on through. Because the stalkers are fast enough to do that, as long as I just moved them in there. Because then he has to take his 2 Marines, which now he has 3, move them out, and now this game could have been over, I think, around this time if I moved these guys right back in. So, but you'll see that I don't. And
Base is under attack.
that was a mistake on my part. So I'm like, well, you know what, it's... So now I'm trying to get back into the game. I dropped down 2 more gateways. Now here's where this gets really kind of interesting. Is that his initial cheese, well, at least to me it was, because he proxied 3 of his racks to do this attack that failed, is that I'm going to expand twice. So there's 1 expansion going down, you'll see. Now I could take out those rocks, but I'd rather not, only for the fact that I could have 1 mining base kind of protected until I get a wall off on that ramp. So, and then my probe gets attacked, and then here comes 4 Marines against 4 Stalkers, which is kind of not an even trade-off. So in the units lost tab, he's already lost about 3,000. I lost about, you know, oh, let's go with 1,200. So he's lost 3,000 to 1,200, and that's mostly army, buildings, and SCVs, so you know his worker line's getting destroyed. The forge is down, so that's gonna help me out a bit. So the pine after this. Now I'm not really behind. I figured, you know what, he's gonna be behind in tech. He's gonna be behind on other things as well. So we're gonna take that away. We're gonna look at the income. So he's now behind in harvest and workers. I'm 14 ahead of his. He's, you know, he does have mules, which is fine. I'm purposely not showing the production tab, so just for certain reasons here and there. So we're gonna go back to this, and we're gonna speed it up a little bit more so we can kind of. So the robotics bay is there to give me one observer, so I can kind of figure out what I have to deal with, because I kind of left him alone while I did this double expand. So, and then I got all this over here. Oops. Realize if I jostle anything. So, and then we see that I got a twilight down. So I'm gonna go DTs because I want to try. You know, I'm ahead. I can risk doing what I can. He doesn't have an expansion up, but I do see that he has an expansion ready. So he has another orbital finished. He has a pretty, you know, decent sized army. Look at the army tab. I'm still ahead in the army. Am I? Nope, he's ahead. Oh, that's because I went double expand. So, because he's got to catch up on his expansion with mules. Because now he's way behind on the harvesters. I get that as, you know, if I need a Colossus, I can get a Colossus, but it's mostly for warp prism speed, which I built a second warp prism and I don't use it. So there was no point to it, but it was a backup warp prism just in case, you know. Well, if this fails, yeah. So we see that a drop's going on, and he's doing a multi-pronged harassment or attack, which is to sneak in from the front with one set of units and then take another set of units and attack from the ramp. Which, you know, I thought I had 2 cannons, but I didn't have a spotter on that ledge. But a big thing is that he didn't have any detection, so I'm sure he was, you know, doing his thing here and there. So he's got a couple of bunkers down. Nice wall off. I dropped 2 DTs there, and then I dropped 2 more DTs there. So he's got to scan in 2 different areas, and he's probably gonna only have 1 scan per area. So I'm gonna get a warp into the units there. So he's got 1 scan there. So, and then he had another. So he only had time for his 1 scan. So we're gonna go back to every. So that was 1. He has 1 more scan left. By now, if you look at this right here, 1 DT's got 5 kills. He's got to scan in this area, waste a scan there, or he scans it here and hopes that it covers that range. But I got my next warping of zealots right here. My zealots are 1-1. His marines are 0-1, so they're doing 7 damage. So they're doing 5 damage to my zealots as soon as the shields disappear. So it's not a big deal. On top of that, I still got my army here. You know, I'm down 1 geyser. I have a mining base set up over here, and I've got 5 geysers now. My mining's efficiently. So now, if I do decide to straight tech to Colossus, I have that ability now. So on top of that, he had this nice little wall off, which didn't really help him anyways, because I didn't attack from the front, which he was expecting. I instead did, you know, a drop, and then I have this guy over here, which I was gonna use him to warp in units. That didn't happen, so he decided to leave the game once this next set of warping came in. I'm actually floating minerals, so this could be now a Colossus. These guys down here can be moved over here. I did get charge, because charge against Terran's a lot better than blink against Terran. So especially against the Marauders, which, you know, with concussive shells, it, you know, it just it negates the concussive shell once charge is activated, and then it, you know, after the cooldown, well, if he decides to keep microing, so the Zealots are always going to get an instant hit versus not having to get a hit at all. So, did he even have stem? No. Let's go back 30 seconds and let's see. He had stem, concussive shell. He had and combat shield. So he was well macroed behind this. He was mostly concerned about getting the defense. So while he's worried about the defense, because, you know, he saw the size of my army, and then what I can do to warp those in, you know, how fast I can get an army versus him, I actually just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go a little more macro for a quick spell, and I take two bases. So I have one mining and one mining, so at least I have 1.5 mining bases. Most of it I needed it for the gas. That's why I got this base, because I was going DT tech. So if that failed, I could just take these DTs, turn them into Archons. So right now DTs are doing 50 damage a swing. So, and you know, that's, you know, we got what, 4, so that's 200 damage for every shot and that they're doing. And I think, well, let's see, does he have 2 attack? Nope, it's just 1 blade. So then on top of that, these down here are doing significant amount of damage. So he's gotta throw a scan here, then he's gotta throw a scan, another scan once that dies over here. So because he's got 1 more scan on the way. I could have just went and take these out, but that haven't waste scans, because then once he's wasted 2 scans, he's automatically, I can just get another set of DTs coming in once I get the gas for it. As we see, there's the scan, which is, you know, the scan takes up this entire screen, so a good chunk of this screen is already part of that scan. So if I center it just right, that's pretty much everything. Whatever that square is, that's how far the scan goes, plus a little further. So he has complete vision of the DTs. So once it goes down, he's gonna have to use another scan, and there's another warping. So I'm pretty sure he saw that, thought, oh, there's another, that might be another set of DTs with Zealots. It was just all Zealots, and then this base is, you know, gonna start to go down in a second. So 18 damage, 50 damage. So these things, so everything's gonna go, is spiraling down. So his proxy racks didn't work at all, because he had to take his eyes off this, and he was focus firing this. He should have just took his army and just kind of moved in, stopped them somewhere, and then that way the probes don't have a chance to do any damage. And if I do attack, he doesn't, you know, he doesn't have to worry about his army actually doing anything or getting killed to anything, unless, you know, because then I have to worry about, now I have to set another warp in here once these 2 pylons finish, because I had no way to have anything warped in. And now, you know, this chunk of probes that was here can't kill anything, because, you know, all of a sudden, you know, he just moved in and they're attacking the first thing they see. And instead he focus fired this to keep me from building stalkers, which I guess is okay. I just think it was the wrong move at the time. He just destroyed my probe line. I don't think I'd be able to come back from this game. So that was his mistake there, and then my mistake here was not attacking here through here, this path here, to end the game at a, you know, about 9 minutes earlier. So, but anyways, that, you know, that was just a chance to do a little more macro versus, or and play that game versus, you know, trying to do a massive, you know, another massive all-in. So all-in versus all-in scenario, but I didn't want that. Didn't really want to do that. Not worth the sacrifice to get units up this ramp, which is, you know, kind of walled off anyways. So anyways, which I probably said about 1,000 different times. Hope you enjoyed and have a good day.